country sure as hell been going down the drain.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
And now, live, unedited, unrehearsed, and unapologetic, straight off the ledge, it's JD and Smitty!
Welcome to the program. Phone lines are open, 239-277-9600 and 775-9600. Thanks to executive producer Tripod Billy, we are streaming live video at theledgeradioshow.com. You can listen live at 96krock.com and follow us on Facebook. Special thanks to our in-studio producer, Sick Rick.
Hey, what's up, Southwest Florida? I'd first like to thank my mother and father. No, I'd like to thank our title sponsor, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security, for all your fire alarm security, CCTV access control needs. Call Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today for commercial and residential, 239-288-6482. That's 239-288-6482. Or visit them on the web at imperialfiresecurity.com. Technicians are standing by.
All right, Smitty, we always appreciate our sponsors.
Yes.
Today is going to be a great show. With us in studio, we've got Saad the Third. Is it Sam J. Saad the Third?
Right.
That's a big name right there. Sam is a City of Naples councilman, and what we wanted to talk about today, and we've got a special guest on the line with us as well, Sick Rick. Let's go ahead and bring our guest in. Hank, are you with us?
I'm here.
All right, and it's Hank Didier, correct?
That is my name.
All right, awesome. And Hank is with the Economic Recovery Group, and basically we wanted to get Sam and Hank on the show together because Hank represents, like I said, the Economic Recovery Group, founding partner. And Hank, give us a little background as to what your group does, as it relates specifically to the BP oil spill and with the Deepwater Horizon incident.
Sure. ERG is a statewide law firm, and we are representing businesses and individuals all up and down the west coast of Florida, through your area, Naples and Fort Myers, all the way down through Key West and up through the Panhandle. And the focus of the law firm is very simple. There is a new settlement program that has finally acknowledged the issues with the BP spill and the trickle-down economic impacts that affected all manner of business, and we help those business owners negotiate the process.
Okay. Has it been successful so far?
It has been very successful, and in the months to come, as these businesses see the recovery that's going to come through the settlement program, I think it's going to have a great economic stimulus effect in the economy as they reinvest in workers and they invest in the businesses and hire people back, maybe that they had to let go. So I think it has served and will continue to serve a very good purpose.
Well, let me ask you a quick question.
You have a real good case. As far
as economic stimulus goes, now, in order to get this money, we've got to sue BP, who's one of the big oil companies,
responsible for all the damage in the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, but as far as that goes, when they've got to pay this money out, how do you think they're going to recoup their losses? What do you think their engine is to recoup the losses?
Well, the first thing is, and it's a common misperception, that you have to sue BP.
Okay.
The settlement program is actually a class action settlement at this point in time, and BP has acknowledged we hurt, they estimate, about 800,000 businesses. So there's no lawsuit involved anymore. It truly is
negotiation.
If your business suffered, and we look at your business's financial records, we're either going to see that you suffered or not. And only if you show that are you going to get paid. So it's not a handout.
Okay.
But so there's no lawsuit involved.
Okay.
With regards to how BP recoups it, BP is one of the biggest proponents of the settlement program because the fact of the matter is that there had to be a way, a mechanism figured out to compensate the people who truly lost, whether it was directly, like a hotel on the beach, or indirectly, a business farther inland, that because people didn't travel here or because people had fear of oil and they didn't spend, consumer fear and spending downturn, which happened all up and down the coast, they had to figure out a way to deal with it, and the settlement program was that solution. That has resulted in stock stability for the company, and they have made back a lot of money in the total value of this trillion-dollar company as compared to what they're ultimately going to pay out. So it was a good business decision, it's good policy, and it's good for the people they're compensating for their losses.
So basically, as far as BP is concerned, it's also good PR for them as well. Would you agree?
Oh, it's great PR. They've done a very good job. I mean, it's horrible the disaster happened. And there's been a lot of environmental impacts and economic impacts and, of course, the people on the rig. But at the end of the day, they have stepped up. They have attempted to find very creative solutions to a problem. And ultimately, they're going to pay out money to the people that were hurt to help them recover. And that was the goal of the settlement program. That's why they've paid out a lot of the fines they've paid, and that's why they've done everything they have in the way of PR.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad we brought you on because I guess I had some misconceptions about this, so I'm glad you're kind of helping to clear that up. And another reason that I brought Sam on from the Naples City Council, I saw something in either an email or in a news story where the Naples City Council decided not to pursue additional monies from BP or from the settlement or any of this issue. And
BP was really happy about that too.
Well, yeah. I don't know if they were or not. I don't know how that comes into play, but in talking to Sam, I mean, it sounds like, and with your plan in place, Hank, that whether it's a city or whether it's an individual that owns a business or works at a business, they have to really prove that they incurred a loss. And Sam, if you would, kind of expand on that as far as the city of Naples, how did they see this for them?
Well, he says there was not a lawsuit. There was at least the threat of litigation. I mean, a class action lawsuit is a lawsuit, and whether you actually file in court or you decide to settle before going to court, it's the threat of litigation is the issue. And the city did get $20,000 for some losses for expenses out of pocket when we bought extra boom equipment, for example, if we were going to have to shut down Gordon Pass. But we did not get a claim that we made for loss of revenue at our city dock. That was denied. So the city made a few small claims. The issue that made the paper was we decided not to submit a broad claim based on actually a competitor of ERG's proposal that the city could somehow recover $2.4 million because the city made the decision, and I supported it, I agreed with it, is that maybe the tourism suffered, but that tax money goes to the county, and the city didn't feel that we had a legitimate claim to BP funds. Perhaps businesses in the city might, but the city itself, we didn't want to be involved in what we felt might be considered a frivolous lawsuit.
Well, I think that's commendable because I think, when you have issues like this, you get a lot of people coming out of the woodwork, and Hank, you've probably seen them as well, folks that file lawsuits that end up being frivolous. They claim they had major losses when in fact they did not, or it's not provable at least. So I think I can commend the city for at least acknowledging that they understand that, one, even if they sued for tourism that may have been down, the city doesn't get the tourism tax like Sam says anyway.
The county gets that.
Yeah, the county gets it, so it's really not a benefit to the city anyway. But then secondly to that, I guess really, if you guys were to sue and let's say you were able to recover the 2.3 or however many millions of dollars, I think it could relate to negative PR for the city if it ever came out that the city was just looking for a handout from this group. And
right, and I think that was part of the issue is we didn't feel comfortable going into a lawsuit of this nature. The city didn't really feel damaged in any way, and I think that there is a moral component to this that is perhaps lost on a lot of folks.
Well, what do you think about that, Hank? Have you seen that as well in some of the other municipalities throughout the state or even in the tri-state area that was affected? I mean, do you see a lot of other cities that are also, maybe they say that something similar, we're not going to file for this because we don't think we were impacted enough for it to matter?
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely happening, and I think that's a city-by-city or county-by-county choice. And the city council here made a good reasoned decision based upon what they saw for their city. One of the things that I think confuses people in the marketplace when they hear and see all this news is that the city's decision to proceed on a claim for their damages is something that would have to be filed as an independent lawsuit because the settlement program that was designed for business owners and people that live in the county or live in the city, that's what the class action is they have a program where there's economic formulas set up to look at how the businesses lost money and compensate them. It doesn't apply to state entities or actors, that being cities or counties. So, they had to make an educated decision based upon, do we think we lost? And I see people who have filed lawsuits that I think have no basis.
Right.
So, and one of the reasons the program started, frankly, was because of the rampant fraud after this spill of people trying to make claims who had no losses, didn't even have businesses. And so the program has put a lot of fraud protections in place to deal with that very problem, and I think it's a real problem.
Well, I mean, we can appreciate that. I mean, I think, like I said, I applaud Sam and, the Naples City Council for going about it the way they did, realizing that, they didn't necessarily have a claim to go forward with. And, why risk not only the scrutiny of the lawsuit, but, you've got expenses for a suit. You've got to have counsel and everything else. Not to mention that, if you get money out of something like this that you really weren't due, especially in a separate lawsuit. I mean, me as I'm a business owner, and if I had to pay out to multiple different groups certain sums of money, there's only one way to recover revenue, and that's to raise prices to some degree. And I don't know if that's something that the BP or the participating actors in that settlement have to do. I don't know if they have some type of insurance for this. I mean, maybe, Hank, do you know how they...
You only raise prices as much as the stock will allow. You know what I mean? You can't just keep raising prices just because you feel like you want to make money. It's
not about making money. It's about recovering your losses.
But supply and demand. I mean, if everybody else is selling their stuff at a certain level, just because you want to make more and you want to recoup your losses by passing it on, it doesn't work that way with oil.
I think the other issue that I felt, but I don't think was actually stated at City Council, was, there's all these people running around. You hear free money, $20 billion. Come file your claim, and it's at some point you have to ask. Yes, people suffered some damage. The city recovered its out-of-pocket costs for acquiring specific equipment to fight the oil in the event that it was going to come and infect Naples Bay, which it actually never did. And we recovered that sum, but then do you go back and do you try and go after punitive damages or you
don't think there's anybody out there that has a business on that coast in Naples?
Well, the business might, but this is the city.
Well, no, if you had a legitimate damage...
It's all hooked up because they have to pay revenue.
No. But the city's claim would be for the city itself, the city's budget.
The city recovered its out-of-pocket costs.
How much did they get?
About $20,000 for extra equipment specific to dealing with the oil.
That's not even a new car.
but that's what our out-of-pocket costs were, and that's the issue. And I just would be concerned, and the reason I didn't support the lawsuit is, so we're going to file this $2.4 million claim or whatever this law firm was pitching.
Were you the only one that didn't
support
support
it?
No, it was 7-0.
And for the record, it was not ERG. It was a competitor of theirs.
It was one of ERG's competitors. But they're telling us that we can recover all this money, and that'd be great if we felt that we had been damaged to that degree. Then yes, of course, you're entitled to economic damages. But it just felt like it was going to be one of those punitive, abusive.
Well, you are the farthest city on the Gulf of Mexico, all the way down the big city.
Marco's a little further out.
Yeah, and then you get Cuba. So
don't give him a globe. I mean, if he had a globe, he'd be in trouble.
Marco's so far from Collier County. You're right.
And I was told, and maybe this is just rumor, but didn't the oil dissipate on its own? It didn't ever actually really get to the shores south?
Well, they said they sprayed it with that chemical, and it broke it up,
and
it all fell to the floor. Well, so it's probably sitting
Hank,
out there.
Hank, you're more of a
on the floor.
You've got more knowledge on this than we do, I think, just because of all of the legal struggles that you've gone through with ERG, trying to help people recover their losses. But as far as the physical damage, not the economic damage to businesses, but physical damage. Now me as someone who is not affluent in the reactions of oil and salt water. Isn't it okay when the oil hits the ground again? Doesn't it just soak back up where it came from?
It's all natural, man.
It's natural, right?
Well, it doesn't just absorb. If you go to Alaska today, you're 20 years plus after the Valdez, and you turn a rock over, there's still oil pulled under rocks up in Alaska.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't just naturally absorb. It never hit our beaches down along the southwest corridor of Florida, but that was largely due to water patterns.
Okay.
You know, it's flowing out and
Gulf
around
Stream.
past the Keys.
I'm good. Hank, have you had anybody attempt to sue Fox and CNN for all the garbage that they spilled all over the airways in the wake of the BP oil spill?
That would actually be a good suit.
Where's that class action lawsuit against MSNBC,
freedom of speech, man. Freedom
Fox,
of speech.
Freedom of speech
Yeah,
doesn't include
freedom of speech.
but not the freedom to lie.
810,000. No law against it. There's no law against it. 810,000 barrels.
I feel like the city of Naples was libeled.
There's no lie. There's no law against
by
lying.
CNN and Fox because they kept saying how horrible it was.
Well, I agree with Fox. They are
had
terrible. You're right.
sunny,
Fox is horrible.
You know.
Well, as we know, Smitty is the liberal in the show, so he's going to hate Fox. But
I like Fox.
No, seriously,
I shoot him.
Hank, though, that's actually a good question because, you know, here I'm watching the news and I'm thinking, oh, my God, all this oil's washed up on our shore. I go down to the beach. It's white, sandy beaches. I don't see
clear,
anything.
Right.
Go down there now, you get red tide.
Well, red tide's been happening, you know, for forever. It has nothing to do with the oil spill necessarily.
Actually, we had a red tide issue in the city in the last few weeks, and the city's natural resources director sent us an email and said that there's evidence that red tide has occurred for thousands of years.
Wow.
Love the smell of red tide in the morning.
Right.
It's a good one. Well, Hank, let me ask you this. Is there, for your company, Economic Recovery Group, where can people go to learn more about you guys? And if they need support from a company like yours, if they feel they've incurred a loss, do you guys have a website that folks can go to get more information?
Yeah, absolutely. We're at www.ERG, that's Economic Recovery Group, lawfirm.com. There is a lot of information there, a lot of active links, a lot of video to the extent you have questions where we're giving answers. One of the biggest goals of ERG from the beginning has been getting good information out to the public about what they need to know. And so that is a resource site, and we hope that as businesses learn about what's going on and they get good information, they can make educated choices about what they want to do for their company if they believe they were harmed. And at the end of the day, my recommendation to all the businesses I interact with on a daily basis is
go
look.
get it.
Just look.
Just go get it. Just go get all your money.
Well, Hank, we appreciate your time this morning and
yeah, my pleasure.
Helping us understand more about this incident and the settlement. I think it clears up a lot of things. Cleared up some issues for me. I kind of came into this with a different thought.
We can still get in on it, I think. Man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be calling,
you
soon,
man.
Don't
soon.
worry. Like I said, I'm a businessman.
That's
if I
right,
lost
man.
some money, we're going to recover, too.
Right.
And, Sam, we appreciate you coming on to talk about this incident. We may carry you over to the next segment if you choose.
Sure.
So, Hank, thanks for calling in. Thanks for being with us. And we will hopefully talk to you soon.
You all have a great Saturday.
Hey, have a great day, my friend.
Take
all right,
care,
the Ledge Radio Show, 96K Rock, 277-9600, 775-9600. We'll be right back.
Weekends. Picture me. Tiny bikini, straps undone, ice cold beer in hand, and blaring the best damn classic rock, period. Every weekend on 96K Rock, we shut up and rock. Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, ZZ Top, Leonard Skinner, Aerosmith, GNR, Bon Jovi. If it makes my ass shake and makes my beer taste better, we play it. All attitude, all the time. 96K Rock weekends rock.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm, security, and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at ImperialFireSecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
Miramar Outlets is the place where you can shop, dine, and play with over 140 top designer brand name outlets. The kids can enjoy the indoor Mundo Fox Playland, voted the best children's play area by parent and child. And you can end the day by dining in one of Miramar Outlets' many restaurants.
Miramar Outlets offers indoor or outdoor dining for a fast bite or a full meal. Miramar Outlets' many dining options include Bon Appetit French Bistro, La Bamba Mexican Restaurant, Luna Pizza, Luna Rosa Italian Grill, Naples Flatbread and Wine Bar, Port Java Deli, Subway, Waterside Seafood Grill, Tipsy Tarpon Seafood, and Starbucks.
Miramar Outlets has the perfect gift for any occasion. The gift of shopping with a Miramar Outlets gift card.
Visit MiramarOutlets.com for a complete listing of events and sales. Become a fan of Miramar Outlets on Facebook or follow us on Twitter.
Great names, great savings, and great entertainment at Miramar Outlets. Exit 123 off I-75 in Estero between Naples and Fort Myers.
Rock Solid wants you to be our customer. March is here and the madness is on at Rock Solid. Come see our starting lineup featuring the biggest inventory of granite in Southwest Florida. Hurry in to beat the buzzer on Rock Solid's Madness Savings. Complete granite kitchens from $9.99 installed. Bring us your best offer and we will beat it. An unparalleled staff and service after the sale makes buying from Rock Solid a slam dunk. Plus, register to win a free countertop to be given away every month. You too could join the winning team.
Wow, this is fun.
So come discover the madness of March and make a fast break to Rock Solid, Naples Granite Gallery, off Airport Pulling on JNC Boulevard in Naples. When coming to see us, look for the Superman sign guy. Call 596-7676 or visit hugegranitesale.com. Rock Solid countertops and more. Remember, there's no competition when it comes to Rock Solid, the only ones who give you a true championship deal. And that is really big.
Tell me, do you speak tree language, lads and lassies? No? Well, allow me to help. Hello, this is Scott for Scots, and today I speak for the trees. The cypress trees, that is. You see, this most Floridian of trees is under threat, so it's up to us to help the cypress trees and all the birds and wildlife that depend on them. And one way to help them is stop using cypress mulch and start using Scott's Florida Select. It's mulch made from natural eucalyptus. And before you think we're picking on the poor eucalyptus tree, well, you should know that there are plenty of them to be had. Eucalyptus trees grow up to 4 times faster than cypress trees, and the trees Scots uses are farm-raised and harvested, so that no land or native habitats are destroyed. The eucalyptus trees used for Florida Select mulch are grown in Florida for Florida. So come on and do your part to help preserve the cypress, and get yourself a great-looking mulch. Learn more at Scots.com. Go on, put down Scott's Florida Select mulch this weekend.
Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
The Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock.
Welcome back. The phone numbers are 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can send us an email, JD or Smitty at theledgeradioshow.com. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. Smitty, we are proud to welcome back Mr. Sam Saad from City of Naples, Councilman. Sam, thanks for being back with us, buddy.
Happy to be here.
All right. Let's take a call real quick. We got somebody who's holding through the break. We've got Cassandra Morris on line 1. Cassandra, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Well, real good. What's on your mind today?
I just want to let you guys know something that the Young Republicans are doing. We're trying to get together a fund for the young boy from Cypress Lake High School.
Absolutely.
Who wrestled the gun out of the other boy's hand.
Okay. Well, what is there a website that folks can go to?
We're trying to get a fund together. We'd like to raise money for him.
Okay.
And we really feel that. Can you give me 1 second?
Sure. Hey,
she needs to take a drink of her water from the Poland bottle.
Hey, Cassandra, actually, if you want, At the top of the hour, I've actually got a special guest calling in to discuss this incident specifically.
We're going to blow it all up.
So I'm going to go over this whole thing. If you want to call back then, we can get more involved in the Cypress Lake.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Hey, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you here in a little bit. All right, so yeah, that is an issue. That's something I'm going to cover.
It's a local issue.
It is,
but it's blowing up.
It started as a local issue, but it's like gained national attention. So we'll talk about that in the 11 o'clock hour. But the big news, as most recently, is North Korea now.
Right.
So we've got, the new leader of North Korea,
Kim Jong-un.
Yes, him. Kim Jong-un. Now, not only is he vowing to attack...
He threatened to nuke the U.S.?
Yeah, he's threatened to attack South Korea as he canceled the peace pact. And on top of it, says that they could nuke the U.S. at any time they choose.
People probably don't realize that we're still actually technically at war with North Korea. We never signed a peace treaty.
We have a secret weapon. It's Dennis Rodman. Okay,
well,
we sent Dennis Rodman over, and you see what happened?
Well,
all of a sudden, now he says, "But they're like this idiot. We're going to bomb them all."
Right.
Well,
it was Jane Fonda all over again.
It was ridiculous.
That's the weird thing is that Dennis Rodman goes over there, watches a basketball game,
which would ended up a tie, 110 to 110.
Well, which is what you get with all socialists and communists is ties. You want equal pay for equal work.
Everybody has to be fair. Nobody wins.
That's right. Nobody wins. Everybody can be have the same amount of misery spread equally.
Right.
So
except for the people at the very top.
Exactly. Except for the leaders like Kim Jong-un.
Does he go by dear leader? Like
he goes by dear Un.
Dear Un.
Dear Un. I write you from any time.
I think dear leader. Is that what they call it?
Wasn't his father called dear leader? Or maybe that was his grandfather, dear leader.
It's hilarious.
Has it been a family for 3 generations?
Number 3.
Big basketball fan he is.
Yeah. This is generation number 3.
So really, I mean, I don't even know if we still have that Star Wars thing, the anti-missile defense system.
You know what I would tell them? I would just tell them, listen, you're going to keep playing your games just like Saddam Hussein did, just like all these other people did. They keep playing games until we get full of it, and then we're going to go to China and say, look, guys, we're going to give this guy about 24 hours, so we're just letting you know. We keep putting you on notice.
Right.
It's over. The game's over. We're tired.
Well,
and that's what's going to happen.
The only problem is that I think Saddam Hussein had the second largest army in Iraq, whereas North Korea has one. I think they have one of the largest standing armies in the world.
Yeah, they'll be the largest laid-down army.
Well, that's because it's a mandatory. I mean, if they tell you're in the army, you're in the army.
We can obliterate that whole. That's the size of Jersey, man. Come on.
That's true.
It's nothing to it.
Well, it was a tough war, back in the day.
Right.
I mean, it was not an easy thing. And like you said, we're still technically at war with them.
That's when wars weren't really wars. The Korean War, the Vietnam War, all these political wars. That's not like the real war where you just You mean
like a World War I,
World War II, where you just kick butt and don't take names. And
I'd be careful there. We did lose 58,000.
No, I'm not saying we didn't lose people. I'm saying we didn't fight it as aggressively and as smartly as we should have fought a war.
Right.
Well, I would agree with that.
That's true. That's why we lost Vietnam.
That's right. Absolutely. It was all political.
Right. And if you look at even Iraq,
even McNamara came out in his journal who said that it was fabricated everything just to get into war. He felt horrible at he died.
Well, if you look at even wars like Iraq, Afghanistan, when you send our fighting men over there, and these guys are trained to kill, they're trained to kill everything in front of them.
Right.
But now you change the game and you want them to selectively fire.
Well,
this guy might be the bad guy, but this guy looks just like the bad guy. But don't shoot him because if you do, you're going to be put in jail.
Right.
We're not going to win like that.
That's why World War II was so successful. We flew the planes over, we dropped leaflets and said, "Run! We're going to destroy this entire area," and then we destroyed the entire area.
And that's the Japanese and the Germans,
right? And it was unfortunate that a lot of civilians were killed, of course. But war is war.
War is hell.
It's the end. It's the end decision. It's not to make these intermediate decisions where you don't commit to total war. I mean, that's why you have so many problems in places where we have gone, like Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, we didn't win in Afghanistan,
No, I mean, you look at Russia. They were at war with them for 10 years. We were at war with them for at least 10 years.
I thought it was mission accomplished. Somebody told me it was...
Oh, no, don't even go there.
What's funny about it's not funny. What's sad about that is that that statement should have never been said.
Right, that's true.
I mean, mission accomplished should have been when they got Saddam Hussein, okay, we got him, maybe get out.
That whole thing was a freaking debacle.
Same with Osama bin Laden.
I mean, all three of us could have found a better way to go war with that.
Right.
You know, we sat around and said, how are we going to go about it? We could have come out with a better plan than they did.
Well, and I mean, I don't think that we have the experience. Well, maybe Sam, you've worked at up in the D.C. area.
I was working.
Me
for,
too.
for
I'm
Bush
about that neck of the area.
That's right. What were your thoughts on that? I mean, you did work for Bush.
It looked good for politics. It's not a good.
There you go.
It's not a good.
The outcome.
Yeah.
But really what
it was
I think.
a good plan on paper.
Right.
What turned it, though, it was the same thing in Vietnam. The media was all over it.
Right.
And as soon as you get the first soldier killed, kind of like.
But when you're winning a war, it doesn't matter how they spin it.
In Somalia, well, look at Somalia, Black Hawk Down. As soon as the president, as soon as Clinton found out that we got a Black Hawk Down, that soldiers are being dragged through the streets.
From Clinton to Bush. We're talking about Bush, how terrible he was.
But I'm not talking about that. What I'm trying to show you to illustrate.
Clinton was no peach.
Oh, he was the best president in the world.
What you're talking about, I think, is courage, political courage. Sometimes, when you're the president, you have to send people to war.
Yeah.
And sometimes, not sometimes, that means some people are going to die. And you have to, once you make that decision, you have to commit.
Stick with it.
You have to stay
You can't
committed.
let the media drive your next move.
I mean, while the whole mission accomplished sign on the aircraft carrier was a bad move politically after the fact.
Getting over there and then turning around and then going in.
The surge was a good idea. That stemmed the violence in Fallujah.
But when they couldn't find Osama bin Laden and he escaped through Tor, they just turned around and went into the other country. It was just like craziness.
Again, but that was a result of not having enough people on the ground. It was a lack of commitment.
It was a bit.
When we've committed, we have won and we have been successful.
That's
when
right.
we have failed as a country to commit, then we have lost.
Everybody looks back at when Bush 1 was there, and they said he should have kept going.
Yeah.
Just like Patton should have kept going,
except
but
that Colin Powell and Bush, the older Bush, were correct.
Right.
If you break it, you buy it, and we own it, and we don't know what to do with it. So,
well,
that's a heck of an analogy.
But that's something else. Why is it that we're in this business of nation building? We're going to go in there and bomb the crap out of their nation. Then we've got to rebuild it. But we are rebuilding it because why? Because we need something they have.
Oil.
Absolutely. Let's face it. If there was their little Tonka toys under the sand, we wouldn't be over there.
I mean,
it is protecting an investment.
I fully supported the war in Afghanistan. The United States was attacked on September 11th by terrorists. Go in, get the terrorists, deal with that situation. I felt that the war in Iraq was a distraction.
Yeah.
And I think that stupid decisions like the way we prosecuted some of these things actually, to go back to what we were talking about, encourage Kim Jong-un. How do you say his name?
Yeah, Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un to be provocative. Is Obama really going to bomb all of their...
Is this guy's threat
is he really going to nuke their facilities?
Right, now you got to ask.
Of course
this guy Kim Jong-un, is his threat for real? Is he for real? You think he really is going to come after you now?
I don't know, man, because...
Is he that nutty?
Didn't he attack an island off the South Korean peninsula last year or 2 years ago?
He lobbed a bomb over there or something.
Well, that's attacking it.
Yeah, is it shooting a missile at the enemy?
But we're not an
them?
island. We're a nation. You know what I mean?
What he's saying,
but
though,
we
is
have
that's an act of war.
We have 30,000 troops on the border there, don't we? I'm pretty sure.
Probably at least that.
Yeah,
at least that.
I mean, what is he? If he lobs one over the DMZ
zone
and kills a bunch of American soldiers, isn't that an act of war?
I would think so.
We'll do nothing again.
That's the issue. The lack of commitment.
The issue. Yeah.
Well, here's what's weird, though, is that Barack Obama will go into Syria, Egypt, and he'll help these countries topple their regimes while putting into place the Muslim Brotherhood,
right?
Which makes no sense at all.
Right.
Sure, the guy we took out was a bad guy. He wasn't a great person. He was a dictator and all that. But he kept the Muslims at bay.
Right.
Now we've
that's
got
all
the
you
Muslim
got over
Brotherhood.
there is Muslims over
No,
there.
you didn't. Now that's what you have.
You have to be careful when you just say Muslims.
Right.
Just like there are good and bad Christians.
That's like saying every Southern guy's a redneck.
Right.
They're not all.
They're not?
No.
Oh, I thought we were.
You have extremists in every religion, and and the issue in the Middle East now is we took out all the strong men, and so all of the extremists are now taking over. It's kind of like what happened in South America. Remember the Eva Perón play? What it was called? Where the revolving dictators.
Absolutely. One after another.
They get progressively worse. And I'd be curious to see now what happens when they I mean, they stated in their videos and on the internet they want to reestablish the caliphate. They want to take over half the world.
Well, I don't even know why we think we're going to change the world. I mean, really, I think this whole thing about changing the whole world and putting our values, our perspective into another country and injecting that is absolutely insane. You're not going to be able to do that. I don't know what are they thinking? What are the powers to be thinking?
I don't think you can do it by violence.
You can do it by showing how to do it in your own country.
Here's how you do it.
Let's run our country the proper way. And if they see it and they like what they see, then the people over there can stand up and they can choose to revolt if they have to, like we did with the Civil War. They can elect their own leadership if they choose to, like we did. But by pushing our governance on them, that's the wrong way to do it.
I think the right way to do it is use that doggone internet, man, and just use that as your thing, and pump in all kind of good stories about the United States and the democracies and the freedoms, and that's how you do it. And then they'll get.
That's not a bad idea.
If you think about what happened when the wall fell in '89.
Right.
It's not like everybody in Russia spontaneously learned English.
Right.
They had been listening to us on the radio for 70 years.
Right.
And lo and behold, when it was okay to tell people, "Oh, you speak English too?"
Yeah.
Great.
Right. That's why you do it through the media, man.
Right.
Well,
that Voice of America.
That's
and
right.
What's that other? The big government program out of the state.
Propaganda USA?
Propaganda USA, yes, that's the one.
Isn't that MSNBC?
Right.
Okay.
That's actually Fox.
I thought it was Fox. I get them so confused.
Right. I'll tell you, I'm a very conservative person, but I'm very much libertarian. I mean, I've been a Republican my entire life, but I'm certainly in the left side of the Republican Party.
Right.
And Fox is not doing it for me anymore.
No? Where are you getting your
I
news
actually
from?
will go to blogs and to the internet to try and find the right source.
PolitiFact is a good one.
PolitiFact.
That's a good one.
Politico.
Not Wikipedia, because that's where Smitty goes.
No.
You go to
there was actually a lawsuit where the lawyer
I get mine Stephen Colbert.
The lawyer wrote information on Wikipedia, and then he went into court and said, "Oh, it must be true. It's on Wikipedia."
Right.
Absolutely. Well, see, I didn't realize for the longest time that Wikipedia, that you could manipulate the information.
Anybody, it's open source.
I had no idea because I had never used it. And I got in there one day and I see where you can add or change this story, and I'm like, what? Here I'm thinking it's like the
I don't know how much
Britannica.
of that goes on, though.
I do it. I go in.
I go and change stuff.
I go into Wikipedia and change things about the city of Naples.
Yeah, but we're talking about, that's different. A city of Naples.
Is that similar to Barack Obama going and changing the history of all the former presidents to make sure he links himself to all of them?
Right. Apparently, he's as good as.
He's going to be on Mount Rushmore. You better watch it.
As good, if not better.
Right.
That's right. Obama's going to be on Mount Rushmore. You better watch it.
Yeah.
If George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, FDR, Teddy Roosevelt, John Kennedy, and Ronald Reagan were all somehow spun into one,
cloned together,
they would be Barack Obama if you asked him.
Wow.
He's a legend in his own mind.
A legend in his own mind.
Let's take a break.
He's a winner.
When we get back, I like the commentary from Sam, so if he's not going anywhere, we'll keep him again.
277-9600, 775-9600.
We'll be right back.
96 K-Rock goes live. 4 stages and 4 bands equals 2 hours of kick-ass rock and roll.
Saturday night.
K-Rock Live. K-Rock Live.
Saturday night. Brought to you by the Purple Ringer.
On 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
Come to Duncan's Diamonds and experience our Rolex watches. Treasured estate timepieces on sale. Save up to 50% on all of our men's and ladies' Rolex watches. Fort Myers, US 41, and in the Gulf Coast Town Center.
Now is the time to go boating, Southwest Florida. And the place to get started is the 24th Annual Fort Myers Spring Boat Show. Thursday, March 7th through Sunday, March 10th at the Lee Civic Center. Indoors and outdoors, it's the largest springtime display of boats and boating products by all the area's major dealers. Boating season is about to kick into high gear with incredible pricing and low-rate financing on hundreds of boats. Loads of marine accessories, services and supplies, electronics, fishing tackle, boat lifts and boat tops, clothing, sunglasses, gift items, food, drink, continuous fishing seminars, and more. You're in the heart of the finest boating waters in the United States, and it's time to get out on the water and experience Southwest Florida living at its finest. Don't miss the 24th Annual Fort Myers Spring Boat Show, March 7th through the 10th at the Lee Civic Center, located 3 miles east of I-75 on Bayshore Road in Fort Myers. Admission just $7. Free parking. Children under 12 are free. Visit GoBoatingFlorida.com for details.
Beasley Broadcasting, along with Dixie Buick GMC, Lennar Homes, and Show Marketing present the Florida Sports Expo. Acres and acres of everything sports. April 5th, 6th, and 7th at JetBlue Park.
Dixie Buick GMC opened their doors in 1934. Today, Dixie is proud to announce our grand reopening. Dixie is setting the new standard of excellence, featuring the complete line of Buick and GMC products. For almost 80 years, Dixie Buick GMC has been Fort Myers' service and guaranteed low price leader.
Since 1954, Lennar has built over 800,000 homes across the United States.
And here in Southwest Florida, Lennar has also been one of the most trusted home builders for decades. Here's why.
Quality,
value,
service,
selection. From the 100s to over 800,000. For more info, call today. 877-45-Lennar.
Don't miss the Florida Sports Expo. From Beasley Broadcasting, Lennar Homes, Dixie Buick GMC, and Shell Marketing. April 5th through 7th at JetBlue Park. For vendor space, visit FloridaSportsExpo.com.
Hi, I'm Don Shula. As many of you know, I've always strived to be the best, not just in coaching, but also in my restaurants.
You always think more when you think of Shula's. More quality, better service, beautiful atmosphere, the best dining you've ever had. But now we announce less at Shula's. Less because less than 1% of all beef makes the Shula's cut. They raise and age their own quality Shula's trademarked cut. Okay, it's really more again, because Shula's always keeps you coming back for more. It's steak on a whole different playing field. You can't get a Shula's cut anywhere but Shula's Steakhouse. Want to meet Don Shula and Mike Ditka and other former NFL players? Come to the party as Shula's introduces Ditka's wines from the Charlotta Winery. Call today to reserve your spot for this exclusive event. Only at Shula's. Shula's at the Hilton Naples on Tamiami Trail. Call 430-4999.
The Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened then?
Past then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now? Soon.
Talking our hometown, our state, and the state of our country. It's the Ledge Radio Show on 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks.
Welcome back. The phone numbers are 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can send us an email, JD or Smitty at theledgeradioshow.com, and check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. If you go to our website, you can see my fancy shirt I've got on today. It's pretty special, I think. Would you agree, Sam? It's a pretty nice shirt.
Excellent paisley.
Thank you very much. It is paisley, isn't it? It's like a black and gold paisley. And Smitty's representing for the Cure. He's got his pink shirt on today.
That's right, man.
So he's
Save the Tatas.
That's right. Save the Tatas.
Is that just the absolute best marketing campaign to bring? You had 50% of the population that had no way to relate to the breast cancer movement.
And they got them all.
Save the Tatas. All of a sudden, men are donating in droves. I mean, I wear
for good cause too.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, way to find a new way to raise money for an organization.
We got to figure something and raise some money.
We'll do something. Well, we're going to talk about the 11 o'clock hour. We got a little fundraiser going on for somebody.
Yes, we do.
But right now, we've got a guest coming on 11, so I want to get into something real quick. One of the hot topics right now across the country are all these drones. We've got different government agencies who
are you talking about government officials?
Yeah, exactly. I like it. Yeah, there are some drone government officials, like maybe a John McCain. He's as far as I'm
just
concerned.
Just because he picked on your boy Rand
and Ted Cruz and Amash.
Hey, he spoke up. He said he called him a nut. He said he's ridiculous. He was out of control.
That's because John McCain is a typical country club Republican.
Tea Party versus GOP. That's what you're going to have forever because you guys can't agree on anything. So he stood up and I got to give Rand Paul his credit. He spent 12 hours, 13 hours, standing on the floor, took it like a man.
Right.
But it wasn't like Strom Thurmond. Remember Strom?
Well, Strom did it. Strom was a Democrat from, was it Virginia?
Yeah.
Was like 99.
He was a Republican.
Yeah, he was like 99 years old.
Yeah.
But this guy, man, he did it for 24 hours.
Yeah, boy, he did it.
Of filibuster.
And that's the record.
That's right. And you know what? That's the way it should be. If you're going to filibuster, you got to take the floor and you got to stand there and take the heat.
That's crazy.
That's how it should be.
Well,
so I give him credit for that.
And the whole reason why Rand Paul was doing this, the whole reason he was doing the filibuster, it wasn't necessarily
because he's a nut
against Brennan. Per se, who was that's what the filibuster was for, was to not confirm Brennan to the head of the CIA.
Nutty.
It was because of the drone strikes that we were fearful of in the U.S. And not that it's happened. Okay, it's not happened. It's not occurred. But Eric Holder, in a feisty exchange with Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, I believe,
right,
took him like 24 hours to finally decide and come out with a formal statement that, yes, it would be unconstitutional to drone strike an American citizen on American soil if there was not an imminent threat from that individual.
Right.
Meaning, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, it gives us certain protections and due process.
Right.
It doesn't give the government the right to assassinate us at their whim.
If you think about how long it takes,
they're not doing it at their whim.
You think how long it takes to seek the death penalty. And now all of a sudden the Justice Department thinks that they actually might have the ability to order a drone strike to kill you.
They're saying if you're that heinous of a person that you're going to be...
And you trust them.
Yeah, I have to trust them.
Well, look at
if you got 4 or 5 guys, if you got 4 or 5 guys up in the mountains in West Virginia who's, Aktula and Mamala and Nahucha, and they're all up there making their mixture of bombs, and they're going to do something.
But they're making a mixture of bombs.
Then you go, you know what? We're going to destroy. We're not even going to send in one single guy. We're just droning them. I say pro-drone.
You are crossing a line that you really don't want to cross.
When you give the government, give the government the power to be Judge Dredd,
right?
Then
take them out.
You just crumpled up your whole Constitution and threw it away.
Please.
What's the difference between Obama
or bazooka? What's the difference?
What is the difference between Obama ordering a drone strike that kills 5 Americans on American soil and Mao Zedong ordering his army to wipe out half the population?
Just because they call themselves Americans, they can still be terrorists and bad, horrible people. A lot of people come here and they say, "Oh yeah, I'm American." That's just a ploy. That's just a hide, a shell game. Oh, we'll just say we're American so that way they won't attack us.
Actually have to be a citizen.
Are you the only one whose family history is such that you were from the United States from the beginning? You're not an immigrant? Is that what you're trying to say?
I go back till about the 1500s, I think.
Really?
1500s in the United States?
Yeah, we were pirates.
Pre-Columbus.
We were pirates.
He's pre-Columbus. He was the Mayans. They migrated up from Mexico.
I did.
I mean, this is a nation of immigrants. You cannot just say because this guy's name is Mahmoud Jamamahad or whatever, I can't think
I don't care what his name is. If he's doing stuff that's going to destroy the people here.
Where's the line that you draw?
That's the line. If I find you up in the mountains making something, you're going to blow up the tower somewhere else. Guess what? I'm taking you out of the drone.
What if he's out in the mines making...
You give him 24 hours. You say, look, come on out, and we'll have a talk.
This is coming from a guy who was the biggest opponent of the Ruby Ridge incident.
I did.
Remember Ruby Ridge?
I did Ruby Ridge.
That's where the government...
They killed white people.
Right. It has nothing to do with the white people.
And they were Americans, and it turned out they were innocent.
They were innocent. And that happens with a gun. That happens when you shoot people.
It wouldn't happen with a drone.
How about all the women and children they killed in Waco?
People get shot with drones. People that are innocent will get shot with guns. Just ask Trayvon Martin.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, let's take a call. We've actually got line 1. Let's take line 1. Sick Rick. We got Byron Donalds Byron, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, fellas?
You know how it is.
Is that
Just
Byron,
argue-
the Byron Donald?
The Byron Donald.
Oh,
we get all the
goodness.
celebrities listening to the show, man. What you got?
Your argument about the drone program, that's all well and good. I mean, obviously you cannot assassinate American citizens. I think that's quite established without an imminent
Not according to
threat.
Eric Holder.
Saying?
Not according to Eric Holder. He was confused.
Well, listen, Eric Holder's an idiot. I don't really care what he says. I'm more concerned about the Constitution and due process for citizens.
Me too, buddy.
My real anger in this whole situation is with John McCain. I mean, this guy, frankly, looked like a clown the last 2 days. Rand Paul, whether you agree with him or not, put the White House and put the Democrats in the Senate in a holding pattern. They put them in a backward position.
That sounds
he won
sexy.
the argument, and he comes out and tries to disparage Rand Paul and everybody else that supported the filibuster. I mean, this guy doesn't even know how to win. He wants to win only on his terms. That's not supporting Republicans. I wonder what happened to the 11th commandment, thou shalt not be critical of other Republicans. John McCain obviously broke that. And so I'm very frustrated with him.
Well, and it wasn't.
What he basically did is he undermined Rand Paul and what we got accomplished.
And it wasn't just him. It was Lindsey Graham did the same thing. They both came out.
Well, they're buddies.
They're Siamese twins, you know that. They go together. So
I was actually disappointed in Lindsey Graham. I thought that we could expect something better, but that's just me being being hopeful and having some optimism for the Republican Party. But they just keep shooting themselves in the foot because even though I don't agree with Smitty on almost anything, he's correct in saying that they are their own worst enemy.
They are.
They
make that job easy. You make the Democrats' job easy. You guys argue amongst each other and can't agree on anything and backstab each other and flip-flop and do everything that you do. And we sit back and go, look at the carnival game. Look at it. It's a shell game over there.
Byron points out a good point. The Republican Party, it really is in chaos, and the Democrats have done their best to make it take advantage and make it worse.
And they're looking at 2 years, and they're looking at 4 years.
Right.
Let me tell you something right now. Because Ron Wyden, and Democrat of Oregon, he joined the filibuster. You didn't see Dick Durbin or Chuck Schumer or even Harry Reid come out and lambaste him for joining the filibuster. They didn't say a word.
Right.
So the White House hasn't said a word about the filibuster because John McCain and Lindsey Graham did their dirty work for them. They got to be ashamed of themselves. I don't know what Mitch McConnell or the RNC are doing, but they got to pull those two clowns to the side and tell them just to shut up.
Oh, Byron, you just
shut up. If you don't agree, be quiet.
Hey, Byron, you're just picking on him because he's a white guy.
Oh, geez. Here we go. I'll pick him up for many more reasons than that.
That's all right. He was picking on Mahmoud.
Hey, thanks, Byron. Take care, buddy.
Just beat up on a white guy, Byron. Okay.
Let's take another call. We've got line 2, Sick Rick. Chris from Naples. You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
Hey, it's Chris.
Hey, what's up, buddy? What you got for us, man?
Hey, first off, man, I got to tell you, Byron Donalds, how you doing? I love you, man. I just wanted to say, I love how Smitty holds up the racist, originally Democrat KKK member, Strom Thurmond, and tries to compare him to somebody like Rand Paul. And by the way, he was succeeded by a KKK member, Robert Byrd. But the difference
Robert KKK Byrd?
Ronald KKK Byrd, yes. But the difference between their filibusters was, Strom Thurmond sat there and read names out of a phone book, while Rand Paul sat there and talked policy, no notes. He sat there and talked policy the whole entire time. I'd like to see Smitty do that.
I can read a phone book. Don't challenge me.
He can definitely read a phone book.
Don't mess with me. I can read a phone book now.
Yeah, hey, let me tell you something. Y'all have a great show, but conservatives, you can see how I don't know what the conservative guy's name on this show is. JD.
Yeah.
And man, you always spout out intellectual points, while Smitty is always making the emotional argument.
Well, that's typical liberal stuff. That's how the liberals do, man. They don't have any facts. They only have emotion. That's how they argue. But they've got the media on their side.
That's because he's a drone and I'm not.
Yeah, weren't we talking about drone strikes?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all have a good one, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Chris.
Thanks for calling in, Chris.
I'll get you your check in the mail.
That's right. I'll see you tonight, man. We'll have a couple beers.
We'll have a few beers. Actually, I don't know who that Chris was.
Sure.
Could have been a cousin. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know
but I
who
do
he is.
appreciate his comments because it made me feel pretty
up?
good about myself.
He's a brother in the struggle.
That's right.
That's right.
Brother from a different mother.
That's right.
But no, that's the thing. I mean, here we've got, and I want to go back to something that Smitty was saying earlier. He and there's plenty of folks that feel the same way as he does, that they want to believe the government. They want to put their faith in the government, that the government is going to do the right thing. And sure, Barack Obama can come out and say that we're not going to use it. Yes, technically legal for us to do drone strikes in the U.S., but we're not going to use it.
Pro-drone.
Well, the problem I have with this is that they left the language so ambiguous for them to decide who they deem as a terrorist or an extremist. Everybody on the right is considered an extremist to them.
Listen to what you're saying. Who they deem?
Exactly.
So I can't even fathom accepting that Barack Obama is going to judge me. I mean, that's what the court system is for. That's why we have warrants and due process.
Absolutely.
And a Bill of Rights.
That's why we have a drone.
They left.
I mean, Eric Holder's going to just divine that you are a terrorist, you are a bad person, you are not. So
it's not aimlessly picking this at it. This is when you drone strike somebody. This isn't just done because
got that 60-year-old kid
whim.
with his PlayStation that controls the drone.
You guys are so out of touch. The real.
No, they do control drones.
What they're trying to say. They do. But what they're really trying to say is, if somebody is that bad and is that deviant and has a camp somewhere sitting there that's going to try
to decide that? That's the point of due process.
This is our country. We have to protect it, man. These people are evil.
Get a warrant. Have the police
investigate. We'll get a warrant.
Here's
your warrant. Here comes a drone. That's what I would do.
No, here's a warrant. We're going to investigate to see if you actually are a terrorist.
Sure. I don't even want them. That's a problem. Everybody goes to court. Spends all this court money, all this time, all this what they got now. The guy they got over there now. What's his name? Osama bin Laden's brother-in-law.
Right.
And we're going to spend all this money.
We should not have done anything with him except for drone him because he's a terrorist.
We want to make sure he's protected, though. Give him civil rights. We want to make sure we take him to court.
He's not a citizen. Why is he getting civil rights? He's not a citizen.
All this. I'm telling you.
There's a big difference, Smitty. American citizen or not. If you're an American citizen, you have a right to due process.
You hang your hat on this American citizen thing like that's the saving grace.
Like, it is the saving grace.
That's where our Constitution covers us.
These people are super evil and they come over here and infiltrate. Okay, so if they're communist Russians, they want to kill us and they call themselves Americans, that's okay. We'll let them do what they want to do.
You keep saying they come over here.
Yeah.
Everybody has come over here. Nobody is from here. Everybody has come here. When you are a U.S. citizen, you get the protections of the U.S. Constitution.
See what I got to do.
And as a matter of fact, if you are in the United States, you get the protections of the Constitution.
Before we get too deep into that, we got a giveaway for our faithful listeners. We've got a 4-pack Jason's Deli gift card. It's good for 4 of their specialty sandwiches.
Huge sandwiches.
I don't even want to put a price tag on it because I don't know what all the prices are, but you get 4 sandwiches. 5th caller, winner, Jason's Dinner.
Sir.
277-9600, 775-9600. Call in for the Jason's Deli. Yep, thanks to Sean, District Manager for Jason's Deli, for hooking us up. It's the Jason's on Daniels or Cypress Lake. So give us a call, 277-9600, 5th caller, winner, Jason's Deli. That's what Jason's Dinner. That's the catchphrase. You got to say it to win. We'll be right back.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm, security, and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
Every day, people go to work, and before the day is over, an on-the-job injury can alter their life forever. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Unfortunately, these workers often find themselves in a fight for survival with their own employer's workers' compensation insurance carrier. Sometimes an injury takes seconds to occur. Others are caused by years of repetitive motion or exposure to hazardous chemicals or materials. But no matter how an injury occurs, the immediate need for lost wages and medical treatment begins at once. Most people live paycheck to paycheck, and any disruption in pay can upset a family's life. At Morgan & Morgan, we're proud of the work we do on behalf of the injured worker. Don't trust the insurance company to protect your family. Visit forthepeople.com for answers to your questions concerning your legal rights, or call Morgan & Morgan at 1-800-MORGAN-LAW. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. offices, Fort Myers and Naples.
You know what you'll find inside this Coca-Cola?
Incredible taste, ice-cold refreshment.
Great music.
I was going to say great music.
Because when you pop open a Coke, you can enjoy Matchbox 20 at Universal Studios Mardi Gras.
And if I pop open this one?
I know you want me. It's Pitbull. Plus, there's Demi Lovato, Philip Phillips, and more.
Catch all the fun with the Universal Orlando 2-Park Annual Pass. Right now, Florida residents can save up to $25 on any annual pass with a Coca-Cola UPC code. Enjoy a year of excitement at both Universal Parks, plus every Mardi Gras concert.
So, open happiness with a Coke.
And experience the biggest bash this side of the bayou, Mardi Gras at Universal Studios.
For tickets and a complete concert lineup, visit UniversalOrlando.com. Offer ends April 21st. Restrictions apply. Entertainment subject to change without notice.
Enter the Florida Lottery's Fantasy 5 Football Draft Day Experience promotion now through April 3rd for your chance to win a trip to the 2013 Pro Football Draft on April 25th in New York. Or VIP credentials for your team's official watch party, 2013 season tickets, team merchandise, and more. Purchase a single $5 or more Fantasy 5 ticket to receive a voucher that can be entered to win at FLALottery.com. First drawing will be held March 15th, so play today. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Good day. This is Scott for Scott's Turf Builder Bonus S Weed and Feed. The fine folks at Scott's have created a perfect potion for St. Augustine lawns here in Florida. Formulated to terminate dollar weed and clover with extreme prejudice. That's a good thing. And now for the bonus. Scott's Bonus S also provides your lawn with essential nutrients. Learn more at scotts.com. Go on, put down some Scott's Turf Builder Bonus S this weekend. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
From the huge studios, WRXK, Bonita Springs, Naples, Fort Myers, a Beasley Broadcast Group station, 96K Rock, and 96krock.com. Talk that rocks.
The Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
You know, some people have no willpower, no brains, no vision. They just drift through life like lots of crap.
What is she talking about? Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96K Rock.
Welcome to the second hour. Phone lines are open, 277-9600, or for the viewers around the world watching live streaming video on the Ledge Cam, 239-775-9600. You can visit our website and blog at theledgeradioshow.com or find us on Facebook.
Hey, welcome back, Southwest Florida. The second hour is brought to you by Imperial Fire Alarm and Security. For all your fire alarm security, CCTV needs, access control, residential, commercial, they do it all. Call Imperial Fire Alarm Security today at 239-288-6482 or visit them on the web at imperialfiresecurity.com. Technicians are standing by.
All right, thanks, Smitty. And we've got Sam Saad back in studio with us from City of Naples. He is a City of Naples councilman. And, Sam, you will be running for re-election, correct?
I have filed for re-election February 4th of 2014.
Sweet. Well, now let me ask you this, because I didn't know this, but are you guys a 4-year term or is it 2-year?
4-year term.
Okay, so
they just took down the cameras this week too, by the way, in Collier County.
Well, that was Collier County,
That's
though.
Collier County.
That's not city.
We do not have cameras.
Remember, he doesn't have a globe, so you got to watch out for cities and counties with him.
Yeah.
If it's not on Wikipedia, there's no globe. And then
no, it's not Collier County. It's the city of Collier County.
No, it's City of Naples. They have their own police department.
It's called satire and joke, guys.
Oh, I got you.
Jesus.
We didn't
He
get
uses
that.
Wikipedia. I'm going to start going onto Wikipedia and editing it.
You guys, man, are like...
Hey, Smitty,
sticks in the
something
mud.
really important. Let's pick up line 16, Rick. We got a winner to the Jason's Deli. Jeff Jaster. Jeff Jaster, you on with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, what's the
winner, Jason's dinner?
You got it, buddy. You are the winner.
Congratulations.
It's a 4 specialty sandwich gift card. It's probably a $28-30 value, so you can take the wife and kids in there. Don't forget the free ice cream. You can go back as many times as you want, like Smitty and I do. A couple days in a row for lunch.
I never do it.
No, here's what you do. Here's what you do. Seriously, when you go there and there's a big line, like at lunch. Go get your ice cream first.
Competition.
Then go stand in the line. Then order your meal. Then when you're done with the meal, get another ice cream. That's how I do it.
Oh, great tip. Great tip.
There you go. All right, buddy. Hang on the line for us. Tripod Billy's going to get your information.
Thanks for calling in, bud.
And thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. All right. And we've got another special guest with us for the second hour.
Another special guest.
Another one, along with Sam in the studio. Everybody's seen it in the local news and in the national news now. We had a local student whose at this time, still anonymous to my knowledge.
Cypress Lake.
Along with his mother, who is still anonymous. Cypress Lake High School student disarms a gunman on a bus before the gunman's able to shoot anyone. Hero, right? You would think he'd be a hero. It's a heroic action.
Seems fairly heroic.
Seems heroic.
Meets the standard definition of hero.
I would say so.
Put your life in danger to save other people.
Exactly. And so what does he get for it? He gets suspended from school. Why does he get suspended? Well, let's talk to Jeff Nadell. Is it Nadell? Jeff, are you on the line with us?
Yes, I am. Thanks so much for having me.
All right. How do you pronounce your last name?
Nadell.
All right, Jeff Nadell. Jeff Nadell is with the National Youth Rights Association, and Jeff is representing this anonymous student from Cypress Lake High School. Jeff, I just kind of introed, the incident itself, but I want you to expound on it for us. Give us the story as to what happened up to the event, and then what's gone on directly after the event with the school board, with the principal, with the actual school. How was this student treated? All that kind of stuff. Bring us through it.
Sure. I'll give you kind of a breakdown. It's been quite a story, as you might imagine. So we started out on February 26th with the incident on the bus itself. A student pulled out a gun and a .22 caliber RG-14 revolver, pointed it at another student on the bus, and said, "I'm going to shoot you." This is all in the arrest report. This is all confirmed by everyone who was involved. And the student that we're representing, along with a few others, saw this happen, decided to charge the student who had the gun, tackle him to the ground, and wrestle the gun from his hands.
Amazing.
So this is the actual incident that happened. Now, another question that we have to raise here is, what was the bus driver doing? Right now, we have no idea.
Hopefully driving the bus.
Probably texting.
Yeah. So we do not know what the bus driver did when this incident happened or after the fact. But after this, subsequently the next day, students were brought into the office. The student we're representing was interrogated for 4 hours against his will, denied access to an attorney, denied access to his mother. His mother was repeatedly calling the school during this time. She had heard that something was happening at the school, and no one was taking her calls. No one was telling her what was happening.
Who did the interrogation?
It was both by school officials and law enforcement officials. So he was in a room basically alone with a bunch of law enforcement and school officials at once for this time.
Without his mother and without an attorney present.
That's exactly right. And they never told him that he had the right not to talk, that he had the right not to incriminate himself or anyone else. There were no warnings of any sort that he was given. So at that point, the mother finally gets to the school at about 11:30 a.m. and the assistant principal gives her a referral slip saying that her son was suspended. Obviously, she's completely confused because she hears the story about the son's act of heroism, saving the lives of the students on the bus, and the victim himself, who's also anonymous, but the victim himself has said without the act of heroism, he would have been dead, and maybe others would have been as well.
So basically, the other student who had the gun pointed at him realizes that his life was saved by the act of this anonymous hero, as we'll call him, for wrestling the gun away from the potential shooter.
That's exactly right. So the mother's given this referral slip saying imposing a suspension, and the referral slip lists one reason and one reason only for the suspension.
What is that?
And that is that the student was involved in an incident on the bus in which a weapon was present, and I'm quoting from it. So this happens. The mother goes home, takes the student home. The student's suspended. Local media gets wind of the story and starts reporting on it. As soon as the local media finds out about the story, the school goes back in and alters the original referral slip, adds in more information in different handwriting in a different pen, and sends a new copy, which has the same date as the original but is altered, sends the new copy back to the mother and says, "Here's an updated referral."
So Jeff, does the mother have both copies then?
The mother has both copies. I have both copies. I'm looking at both right now.
What does the update say? What do they add to it?
So they add to it that he was uncooperative, insubordinate, that he lied repeatedly. And on the initial referral, there's sort of an area on there where you can categorize the incident. There was no category circled because, of course, this is an absurd reason to punish someone for an act of heroism which saved lives. No category was circled on the first slip. However, once it was altered, they circled the category that says insubordination/disrespect.
Who's the principal out there? What's her name?
Tracy Perkins.
Tracy Perkins.
Yes, Principal Tracy Perkins.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. Just up to this point in this story, if you were a student or a parent of a different student, and now you realize that you're going to be suspended for aiding in a situation like this, do you think it's going to deter you from even helping someone because you might be afraid of the repercussions?
There's no question.
Yeah.
I mean, the message that the school district is sending, I mean, and this is a horrible thing, but the message the school district is sending is that they would have rather seen this incident end in tragedy than have a hero step up and end it.
I might be able to agree with you.
No wonder the kids are so confused nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, this is what, and Jeff, you and I spoke yesterday or the day before about this. As we were getting you set up to call into the show, and something I said, and this is something that I've said for several years now, because I have younger children in school. Both of them started in public school, and now my older child, he's in a private school. But my younger one is still in public school because he's in a gifted program, and that's currently the best place for him to be. But I've seen multiple instances where these zero tolerance policies seem to equate to zero common sense.
There's no common sense.
They have a broad brush.
Doesn't sound like the teacher's using any common sense.
No, they have a broad brush fix for each of these incidents, but never that they don't seem to take the incident one at a time. It's okay, you were involved in an altercation with another student, so you're going to be suspended, regardless of the fact that you saved lives by pulling the gun out of a guy's head.
Right.
That is ridiculous. If you were a police officer and you did this, you'd be given some type of a medal at the sheriff's department.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I could not agree more with your characterization of the policy. And if you look at this case in particular, it even goes farther. Not only does the school's decision make no sense to us, but what their actions show is actually it made no sense to them too, but they're trying to defend it now.
Sure.
After they realized the reason there's a cover up at all, the reason that they altered the suspension slip is because they realized someone told them that suspension was completely indefensible, that it was completely nonsensical, and they had to go back in. So for whatever reason, they still felt that the student should be suspended, even though they realized that they couldn't defend the reason that they suspended him. So they went back in and added additional reasons that just are not grounded in fact, and now are claiming that
Are you
that
suing
is why
the
he was
school?
suspended. I'm sorry, what?
Are you suing the school?
We're not suing the school yet. What I will tell you is this, to continue the story as to our relations with the school and the school district. What happened is immediately when our organization, the National Youth Rights Association, got involved, we reached out to the school, reached out to the principal, reached out to the district. Anyone who would take our calls, we reached out to. And we just explained, look, we don't think you're trying to be malicious. We think this was simply a bad decision made, in a time of high stress and high pressure. Let's correct it. Let's remove the suspension from the student's record. Let's acknowledge his act of heroism. Let's acknowledge that he should be praised instead of punished, and the issue can be over. But what
seems reasonable to me.
I have to agree. I mean, what we encountered was that the principal has told us she's standing by her decision. What I will tell you is that we now do have an open dialogue with the school district, which we are appreciative of, but they've yet to make the right decision. They've yet to make the just
Well, it
decision.
sounds to me, Jeff, like the school, they made their decision. Then the news media jumped on, made them out to look like the bad guy that they are because of their decision, and now they're playing defense. Now they've got to try to come up with a reason as to justify their initial claim.
Well, the buck's going to stop at the principal's office.
But it's looking worse and worse because I saw the story when it hit national. I don't watch a lot of the local news. So I saw it when it hit the national media, and I saw it all over Facebook, on Twitter. Glenn Beck picked it up. Fox News picked it up nationally. But I actually went back to one of the local reporters, Matthew Grant from Fox 4, read his story, and I thought he did a really nice story on it. But that to me is what the school district is doing. They're trying to cover their tracks, is what it looks like.
Schools seem to make a series of dumb decisions.
Over and over.
It's not just one incident. It's over and over. Every week they're in the news for doing something totally irrational.
You have so many problems in the way that schools are run these days. I mean, it's top-down command from Tallahassee and from Washington, D.C. Parents and teachers who know these children can't make rational decisions that are in the best interest of the child because of, like you said, these policies.
Yeah.
Where do these policies come from? Somebody in the Department of Education, the teachers union, is writing a policy to try and corral all these kids into some, little Hitler Youth thing, and then they somebody falls out of line.
Youth thing.
Yeah. Well,
Sam.
In this case, I mean, what goes on in the schools to me is appalling. And I have a 5-year-old that's about to enter the public school system, and I can tell you, I'm scared to death. I am scared to death of what's going to occur, with what she's going to pick up,
it's a social epidemic is what it is in the schools.
Well,
it's a complete failure of the system.
And it's running rampant, like you guys said. And, Jeff, this is something that you and I talked about. Like I mentioned, I've got a couple younger children, and when one of my children was 5, I think he was in the kindergarten at the time. He's a boy. He's a roughhousing little boy, and he draws on a piece of paper somebody he labels as a good guy with his little stick figure and his little stick figure gun, and he's got a bad guy. He draws a bad guy, and it says bad guy above his head in a little cloud or something. Probably something he picked up on cartoons, Bugs Bunny, who knows? Right. But he almost gets suspended because the good guy character has a stick figure gun pointed at the bad guy character on a piece of paper on a 2D drawing, stick figures, and he gets brought in and interrogated, like you said, not for 4 hours, but almost suspended for an incident that is nothing. Yeah. I mean, boys play cowboys and Indians. They play cops and robbers.
They just had an incident we were talking about earlier when we first got here about the cupcake and an army man. There's a lady had these little cupcakes, and she put little World War II army men we all played with, and there was a big incident over this. I mean, for real? Are you kidding me?
No common sense.
This is ridiculous.
It's
so true, and a large part of the problem is that schools are supposed to be places where students are nurtured and educated and protected, kept safe. But what it's turning into is the schools are so eager to dole out blame to students and put them in horrible positions that compromise their ability to get educated. This student in particular, during the 4 hours he was interrogated and during the 3 days he was suspended, should have been getting the education to which he's entitled at that school. Instead, he was being disciplined for his act of heroism, and the school's very quick to blame him for everything that went wrong. What about their bus driver, who's the employee, who didn't call the police, didn't report it? His name is nowhere in the incident report that the police filed.
Just curious. Just curious.
Bus driver suspended?
Just curious. Is are the boys white, black, Mexican? What are they?
Does it matter?
I'm just curious.
That's a liberal for you.
No, I'm curious.
He has to take a sense.
No, I want to find out.
Well, he's
anonymous. They're American. How about that? They're American.
Trayvon Martin was too. Trayvon Martin was too.
American. Yeah, no, I don't want to. Just in the
he's remaining anonymous.
I don't want to.
What happened to the alleged shooter, to the supposed shooter,
or the almost shooter?
Almost shooter.
The almost shooter. That's right.
He probably gets counseling.
He was arrested. Charges were filed. He was charged for possession of a firearm on school property, and he was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without the intent to kill.
You pull out your weapon, you say, I'm going to kill you, and you're charged with assault with a deadly weapon without the intent to kill? How is that even...
What I will also say is that the mother of the student who was arrested for the gun incident actually came out and said that the student we're representing got a raw deal.
Oh, really?
For disarming her son. I mean, even she recognized.
Has the principal or the teacher, has the school made any statements? I mean, how are they defending this at this point?
So after we repeatedly contacted them, and after the local media repeatedly contacted them, the district finally put out an incredibly curt press release.
I saw it.
They direct everyone to it. And, I mean, literally what the press release says is, we can't talk about it, but it's more complex than you think.
Right.
Because it involves student discipline, we can't talk about it. And that's what the school's hiding behind. If you talk to anyone, if you can get anyone on the phone, they'll tell you, well, our hands are tied, we can't talk about it. Now, I mean, that may be true legally, but the fact of the matter is it is not more complex than it seems.
Sure.
Maybe it's more complex insofar as other students are concerned, but the student that we are representing, I'm looking at the suspension slip now. It says he's suspended for being involved in the incident on the bus. That's it. End of story. That's why he was suspended, and we need to undo it. And I want to also say that we're announcing for the first time on this show now that we're launching a petition to try to force the school district to expunge a student's record. And that petition is at www.schoolbushero.com. BlueBusHero.com.
Hey Jeff, I actually want to talk about that petition a little bit more when we come back from break. Are you able to hold through the break for us?
Absolutely not.
Okay, we're gonna go to break because we've got another announcement to make as well that kind of coincides with the petition, and we're gonna talk about that when we get back from break. We've got some callers on hold. We may do a three-way call if they've got questions for you, Jeff, and the National Youth Rights Association. So give us a few minutes. We'll be right back. 277-9600, 775-9600. We'll be right back.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
ZOOMTAN. I was tan last summer, now I'm pale again. I need a little bit of help to be ready for the beach. Zoom Tan puts some within my reach. Brown as a biscuit for $9.99. ZoomTan.com for a limited time. Zoom $9.99.
Zoomtan has 25 locations throughout Florida. Go to Zoomtan.com for a location near you and for a free spray tan coupon. That's Zoomtan.com. Why be pale and pasty when you can be tan and tasty?
You know, people came in with really, really bad credit so far this month, a lot of them, Caroline, and you know what? They were so excited. They not only left with a brand new Kia, but they got a check to do whatever they want for $1,000. I think one guy took his wife. They went up to New York City for a long weekend. Another couple had some kids in college. They used it to pay the kids' tuition. I mean, one person had a medical bill. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You know, you get a great deal on a car. You get a great warranty, a 10-year warranty. You get rebates up to $3,500. You get special financing rates. And then when you leave, Billy Facilla gives you $1,000. Caroline, why would you shop anywhere else?
I don't know, Billy. It's March Hugeness, and the best way to find out about your financing options before you even come in and see us if you still owe Kia is to log on to HugeKiaCredit.com. You can select your location at the bottom of the screen. It's that simple.
It's that simple. One word describes it, Caroline. Huge.
We want to help you save money on dining out. Save 50% on some of the area's finest restaurants, like Club Sushi, a sushi connoisseur's delight, serving only the finest sushi and sashimi on Tamiami Trail North in Naples. So get your $50 gift cards for just $25 and start enjoying. These half-off cards make great gifts, company incentives, or simply treat yourself and save some money. Just log on to this radio station's website, look for the half-price deals, and start saving 50%. Don't miss the 61st annual Mobile One 12 Hours of Sebring, fueled by Fresh from Florida. March 13th through 16th at Sebring International Raceway. See top teams including Corvette, Porsche, Audi, Ferrari, and more. There'll be driver autograph sessions, vintage car displays, live music, and fireworks. Kids 12 and under free with paid adults. Party in the Spring Break Party Zone, featuring model search and bikini contest presented by Boner Outfitter. For tickets and info, call 800-626-RACE or visit SebringRaceway.com. Sponsored in part by Michelin, Chevrolet, Budweiser, Tampa Tribune, and Highlands Today.
Hey, what's happening? I'm Wright Brand Bacon, the bigger, better bacon. When you bite into Wright Brand Bacon, it's like DJ Bacon dropping a beat in a packed bacon disco in your mouth. I'm so meaty and delicious, I'm like meat candy. When you fry me up, I smell so good, it draws a crowd like free money. I'm so tender.
Wright Brand Bacon. Bigger, better bacon. Find out more at biggerbetterbacon.com.
The Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
Part of the story I don't like is that the little boy gave up looking for Happy after an hour. He didn't put posters up or anything. He just sat on the porch like a goon and waited. That little boy's got to think. You got a pet. You got a responsibility. If your dog is lost, you don't look for an hour and then call it quits. You get your ass out there and you find that dog.
Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock.
Welcome back. 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can email us at JD or Smitty at theledgeradioshow.com. You can also check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. And on the line with us, coming back, is Jeff Nadell from the National Youth Rights Association. Jeff, you back with us, buddy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. And we've been talking about the Cypress Lake, what we're deeming as the Cypress Lake hero, the student from Cypress Lake High School.
You gotta come up with a nice fancy name for that kid or something, man.
I'm sure that something better will come along, but, just for the folks that didn't hear before the break, this was the student that disarmed a gunman on a bus before he could shoot another student. And the premise behind the reason why we've got Jeff on and the Youth Rights Association is the student wasn't hailed as a hero. He was suspended from school for being involved in an incident with a weapon.
The parents have to be extremely proud of their kid.
I'm sure they are.
Extremely proud of him.
And Jeff, you mentioned right before we went to break, you guys have a new online petition where people can go and give a little bump for the petition and what it's for and what it's about.
Sure. So what we've been trying to do and what we have to do is put pressure on the school and the district to make the right decision. And we've been doing that in a whole lot of ways, but the signal we've been getting from them is it's not enough. They haven't been pushed to make that decision yet. So we just created an online petition. Every time someone signs that petition, an email is going to be sent to a whole host of decision makers within the district and within the school to let them know that the public is behind this heroic student and they want to see his record expunged, the suspension taken off his record. So you can go on to schoolbushero.com.
There you go. I like that. School Bus Hero.
It's a school bus hero.
Sign the
I got a
petition
school bus hero.
That's like in stereo, man. Both you guys breaking out with it.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I said 1970s, they rock. Jimi Hendrix came out with a good album.
So School Bus Hero, was it .com or .org?
.com, yep.
Schoolbushero.com.
You can go in there and sign the petition, and like I said, we'll eventually deliver all these signatures to the district and to the school itself to show that the public is behind us and the public is behind the students.
Well, and think of it. Think of this. I mean, I don't know what this particular student's academic level is. If he's planning to go to college, if he's got some future plans for that path. But with this with a suspension on your school record at this day and age, with as many children that are trying to get into college and it being so competitive. If you've got something like that on your record and they look into it and see what it says with a weapon, the college is going to be like, we don't really want that person here. So,
but then you tell them the whole story.
You don't get that chance.
No, it doesn't matter because the colleges are also a bunch of scaredy cats, just like this.
So we've got to get this guy's record expunged. Right. It's got to be clean.
He's a hero, man.
He's a hero.
And I wanted to announce also on this show, in conjunction with the Southwest Florida Young Republicans Club,
Easy Republicans,
along with the Ledge Radio Show, Torchlight Productions, and the National Youth Rights Organization, we've also set up a donation site for this anonymous student. For anyone that wants to donate to help his cause, what it's going to do, these donations will go to help for a college scholarship fund. They can go to help with legal costs if in fact they have to go to court for this incident. So you can go to cypresslakehero.com. You can donate. The proceeds will go to the student. The donations will be turned into a check to be presented to the student and his mother at a time when we think that enough money's come in to help support the cause. And Jeff, you and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I think this is a great way to do it. We're blasted on Facebook, Reddit, all the social media sites. We want to get as many supporters as we can for this student because, far be it from us to not, if we don't stand behind.
If there ever was a clear case where a guy deserves to be held up and said, look what this guy did, man. He saved a life. He stepped in front of a bullet and grabbed a gun, for God's sake. And now you're going to turn around and suspend him? Right. What is this world coming to, man?
I think that
and we're so appreciative of what you all have done with CypressLakeHero.com. I mean, this student and his family have just gone through so much in the last week or so. It's been, incredibly trying time on them. And they as well are so incredibly appreciative of the support that they've seen from the community and efforts like this with CypressLakeHero.com has just been amazing.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate what you do, and I've actually got, and I know Sam wants to get in here real quick. We've got some callers on the line. They may want to. I think we can tie them in with you while you're on the line in case you can provide any information towards their story that they're going to bring up because there's so many incidences every day, just like this one. No, let me back that up. Not just like this one. because this
bad
incident,
decisions.
Bad decisions from the school districts or school boards. Again, like Smitty mentioned earlier, the cupcake incident, or the child that chewed his pastry into the possible shape of a gun and was suspended for
and
it.
said bang bang.
It's a pastry. It's a pastry, and he makes it look like a gun.
Whole anti-gun culture. You guys
Absolutely. So, Jeff, if you want to stay with us, I want to get a couple callers here, and let's see if we can talk through them. Sam, did you have one last thing for Jeff before we get to the callers?
I'm just still curious as to what the holdup is on the part of the school and the principal. I mean, they're obviously they got egg on their face. They need to suck it up, apologize.
Yeah, they could come out smell like a rose if they play their cards right.
Right. I mean,
but if they don't,
there's still time for this principal to get down off her high horse
and rectify
and do the right thing.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, I mean, she should be crucified.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. If she's going to ruin this kid's life by putting this on his record,
I agree.
She should be crucified.
I agree.
Well, let's take a call. Let's go to line one. I've got Al from Naples. Al, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, good morning. What I called about, I didn't hear you guys talking about it, was actually the Pop-Tart gun.
Right.
And how, I don't know if people out there have heard about this, and how insane that is. I forget how old the child was, because that lunch table nibbles on a Pop-Tart, goes bang, bang, and he gets suspended.
Yeah, well, that's again. We just mentioned the pastry turned into a gun incident. It's this zero tolerance policy that's across the nation that does not allow these school districts the latitude to make
a zero Pop-Tart,
right? And to make an actual informed decision.
Pop-Tarts.
Well, actually, I'm surprised that Michelle Obama didn't have him suspended anyway because it was a Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart.
But no.
Another thing, an honor student at Barron Collier, her and her mom were moving one weekend, and they found a butter knife in her trunk.
I remember that story.
I do too.
Yeah, the butter knife. The knife was in her trunk. It was on school property.
Zero tolerance.
A butter knife. They were moving. They had moved their house. All their stuff.
She didn't just come from a bagel store. I mean.
But Jeff, and that goes back to what we're talking about with Jeff. There's
tolerance now.
Zero common sense with these zero tolerance policies. And Al, thanks for the call, buddy. We appreciate it. I mean, Jeff, you see it the same way I do. I think that we've got to get some common sense back to the school districts.
Without a question. I mean, look, these schools and these school districts are so often just trampling upon the rights of students. And when you can look at a case and it is so clear-cut as this one or as the Pop-Tart one, I mean, we have cases all the time. A student draws on a desk with a permanent marker. I think this was in New York, and is let out of the school in handcuffs because of it.
Wow.
I mean, there is no common sense.
Well, let me ask you this.
Let
me ask you this, Jeff. In that incident, I'm not familiar with it. Was he let out of school in handcuffs because he defaced public property, or was it because of what he drew on the desk?
I believe it was just defacing public property.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was just squiggles.
Wow. Well, you got to think about it. City of New York. I mean, you can't have a soda bigger than 16 ounces, or you're going to be let out of the. If Domino's delivers your pizza with a 2-liter bottle, they're going to go to jail. So, what more can you ask from the city of New York?
We also have Nathan's hot dog competition too. So
yeah, Nathan's is good. Nathan's is good. Let's take another call. Well, we got Jeff on the line with us. Line 3, Sick Rick. We got Eric from Naples. Eric, you're on the Ledge Radio Show.
Yes, good morning, guys. I just want to make 2 real quick points. One is when I was growing up, a lot of times with the school boards, things seem to be a lot more black and white. Now everybody seems to be trying to live in this weird shade of gray, and this is a perfect case where, the young man stood up, did the right thing, and now they're trying to turn around and say, sometimes doing the right thing isn't the right thing. These kids are at a time of their life where life is really confusing for them, and they're supposed to be, getting educated and taught to do the right thing in the schools, and now they're being, punished for doing the right thing. I mean, how do we teach our kids the difference between right and wrong with this going on?
That's a good point. Yeah. That's something that we've talked about this morning. Is and I mentioned that early on. Is when other students. When maybe even siblings or just other peers of this one student sees how he's paraded around as a they didn't arrest him, they didn't arrest the hero, but they did suspend him from school for stopping a shooting, and that
it confuses the kids. They don't know what the heck to do now. They're like, well, should I do that? Should I do this? Maybe lawyers have gotten too much involved, and the guy was right. Simplify these things.
Yeah,
simplify them.
Well, think about it in this respect. how many times have we heard, or maybe we've even got children, Sam, your child's a little too young yet, but where your child may have been involved in a fight in school. You know, how many kids have not been in a fight in school?
Oh my!
I mean, Smitty, you that's all you did in school.
Oh my!
You know, but the thing is, if you are the victim per se, let's say you get hit.
If a kid comes up to you and picks a fight with you and you fight back to defend yourself, you're thrown.
You get suspended too, because it's zero tolerance. Because the school says, well, it takes two to tango. Well, you know what? If my son gets punched in the face or is getting beat up by some other kid, I give him full authority to defend himself. Right. I mean, if we have adults in a state of Florida specifically that have the stand your ground law that can defend themselves legally so that they're not killed by someone else, then our students, our youth, should have the same right to defend themselves.
I'd rather visit
thanks for the call, Eric.
I'd rather visit my kid in the detention than in the hospital.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so Jeff, are you guys running across incidents?
Be judged by 12 and carried by 6.
Exactly.
That's Sam.
You know, Jeff, are you seeing some of the same issues with the Youth Rights Association, where you've got students, like Smitty was saying, they get in an altercation, the victim defends himself, and yet he's treated just as bad as the aggressor.
For that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have to look at what is the goal of schools here? What are they trying to teach? I mean, in this case specifically, you have a student who stepped up, risked his own life, risked his own safety to save others on the bus, and the school condemns him for it and says, no, that's not the lesson we're trying to teach. You should have stayed in your seat.
Yeah, I lay that right at the lap of the principal, man.
And that is a real problem. But yeah, to address the larger point, I mean, we haven't dealt with specific cases like you're mentioning, but I've seen this consistently in news reports and elsewhere from anecdotal stories we've gotten from our activists across the country, which is that an incident will happen, some sort of physical altercation, and everyone who had anything to do with it gets hauled into the office and disciplined for it. Doesn't matter if you're defending yourself, doesn't matter if you're trying to stop the incident, but you were involved and therefore you're a villain.
Well, I agree.
How do we expect these things to end well? How do we expect this to end well?
The only way I can figure anything could come out of this really is Tracy to just recant and say, look, we had a knee-jerk reaction, we overreacted, we should have done some things that we learned from, policies that we didn't follow properly, and we don't want people to get fired. We're going to redo this, and we're going to exonerate this kid. That's the only path to get out of this thing.
And look, I'll tell you right now, we are not trying to hang anyone for this. We don't want this to be a win-lose situation. We are more than open. Everyone that I have spoken to at the school district and the school has my cell phone number. I have told them I will pick up their call any time of day or night, weekend or weekday. I want to resolve this issue, and I want to resolve it in an amicable way. We're more than open to talk to them. We will sit down and hash this out, and we can come out together and make the great announcement that everyone in the situation is reasonable and that the problem is solved. But right now, they've given us no indication that we can do that.
It sounds like you're more sensible than they are.
Well, absolutely. And, but I think you're on the right track, Jeff. We've got, was it schoolbushero.com? Is that the petition site?
Yep, the petition site is schoolbushero.com.
So let's, we're going to blast that out on social media to get as many signers as we can to prove to the school district and to the principal and the powers to be that this student needs to be exonerated. He needs to be held up as a hero and not condemned as a criminal per se.
Absolutely.
And in the same respect, there's a donation site, cypresslakehero.com. For folks that want to donate to the cause, help this guy if he needs legal counseling, if he needs money to pay for legal counseling, if he needs money for college. This kid was a hero, did a heroic thing. He needs to be held up as a hero and not as a criminal, not suspended from school. Before we go to break, let's take one last call, and then Jeff, I'll let you go as soon as we get rid of this last caller. He's got a question. We've got line 1, Sick Rick, Dan from Marco. You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got for us, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great, thanks.
I got a question for the representative here. Just curious. You said this kid was held for 4 hours being interrogated?
Yep, that's exactly right.
All right. Now, if this issue doesn't get resolved, is there any were the people interrogating him? Did they read him his Miranda rights prior? And if not, if this doesn't get resolved, is there a possibility of a lawsuit for
false imprisonment
or anything like that?
That's a great question. From our information and from talking with the student and the mother and everyone involved, they never read him any sort of Miranda rights. They didn't give him any indication that he didn't have to talk. In fact, they did exactly the opposite. They were recording the interrogation. They then stopped the recording and said, if you lie or if you don't tell us what we need to know, it will get much worse. And then they started the recording again. So they gave him every indication, both explicitly and implicitly, that if he refused to talk, that if he gave any misleading information, that he would be punished even worse than he had already been punished.
Well, there you have it.
And we should note that you're not looking to take this thing to court. Right now, you just want it resolved. And so that's
right. To address that question, look, we want to resolve this in an amicable way. We want to.
Thanks for the call, Dan.
The flip side of that, and I want to be open about this, the flip side of that is we are not going away, and that's the message we've been sending to the school district and the school. We will pursue this issue until this student sees justice. If we have to file a lawsuit, we will. If we have to file a lawsuit against the assistant principal who issued the referral himself, we will do that. We will take whatever form of recourse is necessary to get justice for this student.
Well, I tell you what, Jeff,
Joe David Dale.
We'll be behind you. I'm sure that any of the attorneys listening right now are probably foaming at the mouth to help you guys out on this incident for multiple reasons at multiple levels. But we want to thank you for coming on the show with us. It's a big story.
Yep.
We appreciate all of your insight, and I know people can go to youthrights.org to learn more about your organization. They can go to schoolbushero.com to sign the petition for the anonymous Cypress Lake student hero. We can also send folks to cypresslakehero.com to donate for this cause. Jeff, thanks for the call. Thanks for being on the show with us today. We really appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks so much for having me on, and again, thanks so much for your support. You guys and everyone out there has been absolutely amazing. So for myself and the family, we just thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot. Take care. We're going to go to break. 277-9600, 775-9600. The Ledge Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge. Check me out mornings right here on 96 K-Rock from 6 till 10 a.m., followed by an all-new lineup of the best damn radio shows, period. Cito and Garrett middays, Stan and Haney afternoons, followed by Lex and Terry the Nardi, the Alex Jones Show, and Man Count. Check out all the shows on 96krock.com. Take K-Rock everywhere you go by downloading the iRadio Now app on your smartphone or your Android. It's a radio station that has balls to give you exactly what you wanted. Entertaining radio. 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm, security, and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
Duncan's Diamonds, the largest diamond and jewelry superstores, is having a diamond sale with savings of up to 75%. Find great prices on certified diamonds. Make Mr. Duncan an offer. Duncan's Diamond Extravaganza, Fort Myers, US 41, and in the Gulf Coast Town Center.
Men over the age of 30, did you know that testosterone and energy levels are dropping and continue to drop as you age? Doctors refer to this problem as low T. There is a solution. The Man Stack. Exclusively from Total Nutrition, the Man Stack recharges your natural testosterone level. The result is a leaner core, denser muscle, a rocketing sex drive, and an adolescent supply of energy and stamina. The Man Stack is exclusively from Total Nutrition. If you're a man over the age of 30 and you're looking to build lean muscle, improve sexual stamina, and recharge your natural energy levels, it's time to try Total Nutrition's Man Stack.
Visit any one of the 6 Total Nutrition locations. Cape Coral on the corner of Santa Barbara and Veterans, in Fort Myers on 41 just south of Pagefield, or in the Gulf Coast Town Center, and now on the corner of 6 Mile Cypress and Colonial between Zoom 10 and Verizon Wireless. Also in Port Charlotte on 41 and Cochran, and in Naples on the corner of Airport and Immokalee. Total Nutrition is your one-stop shop for protein powders, weight loss, and vitamins.
This is Yanni from Total Nutrition. Same great service, same great prices, you better need. Visit us at TotalNutritionSWFL.com.
Tell me, do you speak tree language, lads and lassies? No? Well, allow me to help. Hello, this is Scott for Scots, and today I speak for the trees. The cypress trees, that is. You see, this most Floridian of trees is under threat. So it's up to us to help the cypress trees and all the birds and wildlife that depend on them. And one way to help them is stop using cypress mulch and start using Scott's Florida Select. It's mulch made from natural eucalyptus. And before you think we're picking on the poor eucalyptus tree, well, you should know that there are plenty of them to be had. Eucalyptus trees grow up to 4 times faster than cypress trees, and the trees Scott's uses are farm-raised and harvested so that no land or native habitats are destroyed. The eucalyptus trees used for Florida Select mulch are grown in Florida for Florida. So come on and do your part to help preserve the cypress and get yourself a great-looking mulch. Learn more at Scotts.com. Go on, put down Scott's Florida Select mulch this weekend.
Now is the time to go boating, Southwest Florida. And the place to get started is the 24th Annual Fort Myers Spring Boat Show. Thursday, March 7th through Sunday, March 10th at the Lee Civic Center. Indoors and outdoors, it's the largest springtime display of boats and boating products by all the area's major dealers. Boating season is about to kick into high gear with incredible pricing and low-rate financing on hundreds of boats. Loads of marine accessories, services and supplies, electronics, fishing tackle, boat lifts and boat tops, clothing, sunglasses, gift items, food, drink, continuous fishing seminars, and more. You're in the heart of the finest boating waters in the United States, and it's time to get out on the water and experience Southwest Florida living at its finest. Don't miss the 24th Annual Fort Myers Spring Boat Show, March 7th through the 10th at the Lee Civic Center, located 3 miles east of I-75 on Bayshore Road in Fort Myers. Admission just $7. Free parking. Children under 12 are free. Visit GoBoatingFlorida.com for details.
The Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
Son of a bitch, Paul, why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock.
Welcome back, 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can email us at JD or Smitty at theledgeradioshow.com.
Shoot me an email.
Absolutely. Tell him how great he is.
Yep.
Check out
I need
the live
somebody
stream.
Help me out on my side.
At theledgeradioshow.com. What?
I can't wait to get a hold of Pete. Pete's on the line.
What are you doing over there? Is that the shake weight?
I like Pete. Yeah,
all right,
shake weight, all right.
Let's take Pete.
It's about that.
Pete from St. Pete. You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty and Sam today. What's up, buddy?
Hey, no minor, no child should ever be interrogated without the parent.
I agree.
Present.
See, that's the second time I've agreed with Pete.
Huh?
I said that's the second time that you and I have agreed on a subject, Pete. What's going on here?
I know, JD.
I feel a Sandusky hug coming on.
Hey, listen, they had this improper touching in one of the kindergartens. 6-year-olds improperly touching each other, you know. And they took all the 6-year-olds to police, and they wouldn't let the parents be there when they were questioning them. You know,
right.
First of all, improper touching with 6-year-old, that's par for the course, you know,
right.
kindergarten. And the teacher wasn't involved, nothing. We're just kids.
Well, and
But, you know,
I've heard...
a 6-year-old, you don't take a 6-year-old in there and...
Right.
Sure.
And you know, and first of all, I just want to say this, that all parents should teach their children the phrase, I want a lawyer.
There you go.
That's a good one, Pete.
Well,
that's a good one.
You know,
I haven't teach my kids that.
You know, Pete, that's something that, you know, I was talking to Sam about that.
I thought they already told him, stranger. Stranger
danger, buddy.
That's what
stranger
it is.
danger.
Okay.
I was talking.
Right, I want a lawyer.
Yeah, I was talking to Sam about it, you know, during the break, and that's true. I mean, you do have children. They don't know, you know, they don't know what they're doing at 6 years old. I mean, and then you got, but apparently it's legal for the Department of Children and Families to come into a school
and do all what they
to
did.
Interrogate your child without your knowledge, and you won't even find out until afterward.
Tape it, then stop the tape.
Oh, that's crazy. Just tell your kid, don't talk to anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I want my parents. You know, I want my parents.
Yeah, that's what they should say.
Because they're just trying to pin it on somebody. That's all.
Sure.
You know.
Well, thanks for calling in, Pete. We appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
All right, take care, Pete.
You're the
Appreciate
best.
the call, buddy. Let's pick up a call real quick. We got line 3. Is line 3 down? Nope. Line 3's gone. Okay, that's no problem. Line 1?
No, he's looking.
Line 17?
We had a major malfunction on
line 25,000?
Yeah.
All right, let's pick up the callers. Is this Rick from Southwest Florida Young Republicans?
Sure is.
All right, buddy. What's up, man? We talked for the last couple segments, and even Pete from St. Pete actually called in and agreed with me for the second time.
I know.
In the entire year that we've been on the air.
It's amazing how far you've come. It's amazing how far we've gotten you over here.
Either I'm going to the left,
JD's starting to flow a little bit to the left.
Or Pete's coming to the right. I don't know what it is, but you can find common ground.
Yep.
So
you can learn a little something, right?
And learn a little something. So what's up with you, Rick? What have you got new for us today, buddy?
Not much. I mean, I was just calling in to talk a little bit about what you were talking about earlier about the whole the Cypress Lake hero.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs to be
we gotta start singing.
Praised. I mean, the guy did the right thing in today's political correct world and zero tolerance. I mean, it's all crap, and we really need to start standing up for these people.
Well, that's something that we didn't actually mention earlier was political correctness.
Right.
And that fits right in. I mean, that's probably where the zero tolerance is coming from.
I think the more sickening thing of all is the procedures that they took after they took the kid in there. That's insane. I mean, they interrogated the guy 4 hours. Parents weren't allowed. Videotaped it. Stopped it. Cops came in. What was next? The preacher? I mean, come on,
Well,
I mean, if
something happened when they stopped
in the 80s. I mean, this stuff never existed.
Right.
I mean, I remember drawing stick figures with guns and playing with GI Joes. I mean, all kids did.
My kids do that during church. I mean, they'll sit there. If I'm not watching them, they're drawing on the back of the guest opinion card.
We drew a lot worse than guns.
Well, that's true. I know Smitty did, but that's what boys do in particular. I'm sure girls do it too, but boys are boys. That's the old saying. Boys go to war.
You have to let boys be boys.
You have to let them be boys. That's right. Let them be kids.
That's part of the problem.
Real quick, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was in 6th grade,
a long story?
No, real fast. Okay. I played in a music band. We went to the next school. Well, my buddies and I got Playboy books together. We stuck them in the suitcase thing, saxophone. So in the back, we're looking through the suitcase, and we're looking through there, and all these Playboy pictures are there. True story.
That's a great story.
The guy comes back and he says to me, "What are you doing?" And we tried to hide it, and he grabbed them from us. He looked at him. He says, "You're in deep trouble." Took us right to the office, right? The principal's there, and he says, "Did your mother know you have these books?" And I said, "No, sir." He says, "Well, I'm going to call her right now." He called my mother on the phone and was starting to tell her what we'd had. And all I heard from him was, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." Put the phone down. He said, "Go back to your classroom."
What happened?
I got home, and I was waiting for a whipping, and I never got anything. So I didn't say anything. A couple of years went by. I finally asked her. I said, "Remember that incident where I was called with the Playboy books in sixth grade?" And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "And the principal called?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "You didn't tell Dad or nothing?" She goes, "No." I said, "What did you tell the principal?" She said, "Weren't you a young boy one time? Didn't you like looking at naked women?" That's what she said to him, and he said yes, and he agreed. She said, "Don't you think that this boy is just a young boy looking to define himself?" She schooled him over the phone, man. And when I went back into class, that principal had a different perspective of things, and that's old school.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore, man. Now they'd throw you out of school for that.
They throw you under the bus.
Yeah, throw you under the bus. Speaking of bus, and we had Jeff Nadell on earlier from National Youth Rights Association, and he is representing a student from Cypress Lake, like we were saying.
Yep.
And Ricky, you and I'd like you to post something on the Young Republicans Facebook page if you could for the schoolbushero.com and also obviously the cypresslakehero.com to support this student.
Yeah.
Because that.
Do the right thing.
Even though, this is a political.
Well, I think even in politics too. I mean, we need to start standing up for the right thing. And you guys were talking earlier about Rand Paul, and you were talking about McCain and Graham.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about people want leadership, and people want people stand up for the right thing. And I mean, even this cause here, this is the right thing. And a lot of people just don't want to do that anymore. I don't understand why, but a lot of it needs to be done.
Yeah, that's.
And just standing up for the right thing. I mean, this guy he saved lives. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Just run away when something like that happens?
This could have been.
It's like they're teaching cowardice in school.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been the next mass shooting that
could have been worse.
It could have been worse. I mean, you're on a school bus.
Why isn't this on television? Why isn't this being broadcast everywhere? Because if you look at it, when there is a shooting, it goes on for months.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
When there's an act of heroism, it's only on for a day or two, and then it's gone.
Well, I want to thank Rick for inviting me up to the program the other night.
No problem, Smitty. Anytime.
I appreciate that.
That's right. Yeah, we had it was a great event actually. Have we had a chance to talk about it
real quickly because we're running out of time? But Firestone had
it was the Southwest Florida Young Republicans club meeting, and it was the media summit. Yeah. Smitty and I were lucky enough to be invited onto the panel.
Chad Oliver was there.
Yeah,
and some other
Chad
guys.
Oliver. We had David Plazas from News Press, Drew Steele from our competitor station, 92.5 Fox News. And we talked about media bias. We talked about how information is disseminated in the media, kind of what makes us decide what stories we want to talk about. It was a great event. It was probably 2 or 3, 4 hours.
And I'm hoping we can do that every year. I mean, that's I think, something we need to explore.
Well, and the location was great. I mean, the Firestone Grill and Bar downtown Fort Myers with the Sky Bar, and that's awesome. It's like a 4-story building, beautifully decorated.
Supporters of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're really big supporters. They're awesome.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah,
buddy.
we appreciate the call, buddy. Thanks for your support with both the Republican side for Sam and I, and also for supporting this student. It's a nonpartisan issue, but we're able to see that we can get common ground, even from folks like Pete from St. Pete, who's an avowed liberal.
Yeah.
He also believes
He's a
that
good guy.
that students that do the right thing, they need to be praised as well. So thanks for
calling in, bud.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Rick.
Well,
and here it is.
Closing moments.
Yeah, and it's somewhat of a sad time for us. We've just got a few moments left, but Smitty and I have decided that this show will be our last show for a little while. We're going to go into hiatus, as the movie stars say.
No rehab or nothing. Man.
Yeah, we're not.
You're not going to rehab?
No rehab.
I'm not sending Smitty to the Charlie Sheen rehab.
No, quitters are rehabs for quitters, right?
Yeah, but
I want to thank everybody that's been a part of the show for the last year. It's been great. I mean, the guests we've had have been terrific.
You know who our first guest was?
Joe Raffini, not Joe Raffini, but I was going to thank Joe Raffini. He's a terrific guy, and just everybody.
Our first guest was Trey Radel.
Yeah.
He did our show with us.
No way.
The very first show.
And he schooled us quick, man.
He showed us how it's done.
He did.
But yeah, I want to thank everybody that's been involved. Shannon Livingston.
Too many to mention, really.
Tony Marino, the Marino Group. Sam Saad, he's been in now with us.
Cecil's been in here.
Cecil
Pendergrass. Sheriff's been on both
Mike
of them.
Scott.
That's right.
Sheriff Ramboss.
All of them.
Judge Eugene Turner.
Right. We've had a ton of people come in.
We've had a lot of guests. A lot of politicians. Byron Donald.
Arnold McAllister.
Joe David.
Joe Davidale's been sitting in a couple times, right?
Jim Roach was in.
Jimmy Roach was in here.
From the Democrat side.
Give me a call, Jim.
But we're gonna work some things out. We're still in communication with 96K Rock, and they've got a direction that they want to go in, and we've got a direction that we're going in.
Another direction that we want to go in.
So we're not going to cut ties with them. They've helped us. Cultivated us to let us do our own thing. I can say that. They've never once said that.
Yeah, this was an experiment.
They've never once said that what we discussed was too far to one side or the other. They never tried to silence us.
And we try to open the lines for people to call in. We try to give the other voice of opinions. We try to give the other side of the story. Even if it may not seem the right thing to do, we try to do that and keep it interesting and provocative and at the same time entertaining. So.
Yeah, and then we got about 1 minute left. And I mean, all of you that have listened with us for the last year, you know where we stand. But you know that there can be common ground. It's not something we see a lot in politics, especially nationally. Even at the state level sometimes. But Smitty and I, we've agreed on several things. We've disagreed on several things. At the end of the day, I think we want the common outcomes. I think not everyone does. There's obviously fringes on both sides, and I consider myself a right fringe.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Yeah. I would say that's true, too, that I am a right fringe.
Yeah.
Feel Sandusky hug.
He's
We
fringe,
really
right.
want to thank Sick Rick.
Lunatic fringe.
We want to thank Sick Rick, Tripod Bill, for helping us produce the show.
Absolutely, man. You guys have been fantastic.
Yep.
Man.
And Sam Saad for coming in today.
Thank you for having me today.
City of Naples city councilman.
He's running. He's running
for re-election, so vote for Sam Saad, the City of Naples. Ledge Radio Show. We are signing out for
Saranara.
For a while at least.
Adios.
Thanks for listening, guys.